we don't know. We know that the matter is in the courts of law, and as we are out of parliament, we are giving our people in the constituencies a disservice. And this disservice is because of having a Cadre speaker, the speaker in the National Assembly. That lady, she's not just a speaker, she's a Cadre. All of us will know that she's a Cadre from the UPND, and she has failed to fit in that office. That office needs someone who is above board. Okay, and we are enjoying the business in the House with the Deputy Speaker one, because she's trading between between the lines. She knows that if she's not above board, that house will be destroyed. And I can assure you that we have, for instances where the Deputy Speaker one, she has cautioned executive members from the executive with a very strong warning from the Deputy Speaker one. But the First Speaker, Madam First Speaker, all of us, we know that she's just a very cheap cadre, and we cannot allow that house to be reduced to the cadre behavior. We are not going to do that.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that was Bowman Lusambo calling the Speaker of the National Assembly, Miss Nelly Mutti, a cheap cadre. So obviously the battle continues. The battle for the nullified seats continues, and the chairs are getting warmed up. It's about to go crazy, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, I am your humble and gracious host, Induna Nalula, self-proclaimed Induna, by the way. And it's very good to see your lovely faces. I hope you had a very great day. You already know what to do. Hit the like button if you are able to hear my voice right now. You already know the drill. Every time we come live on this particular platform, support us by hitting the like button and sharing the video. Of course, you also have to tag everybody that you know, and then tell us your location, because you need to represent your city, your town, your province. And of course, I am going to be looking forward to hearing your opinions, your contributions, because if you check out the comments, or rather today's topics, right, I really want to find out exactly what you think, because your opinions do really matter. And I'm definitely expecting people to participate. I want your participation, and we are non-partisan here on Z Corner. Everybody is welcome. Patriotic Front members, UPND members, DP, NDC, anybody can feel free to utilize our platform. And if you really want to participate, the link is obviously going to be in the description box below. You're going to be able to find the link to join and participate and just basically be part of this particular program. So today's tasks for you are, we need to have at least 300 shares. So right now, the people who are watching me, before we continue, because we have a lot on the lineup, we have a lot of things to discuss, and it's going to be a very, very deep forensic discussion with you. But before we get into today's presentation, right, you have basically some homework. We need to have about 300 shares and about 1,000 likes by the end of today's live stream. So keep on sharing, let everybody know that Z Corner is live, and we are going to be talking about the many outrageous things that Bowman Lusambo obviously, said in today's interview at is it Hot FM, because he had a very good discussion with Peasy from Hot FM. And then we're also going to be talking about the fact that the Energy Regulation Board is reportedly going to increase the price of fuel by midnight. So a lot of people have obviously had mixed reactions to this, but this is something that they obviously sort of earlier talked about, and they prepared the Zambian people. So we are going to be talking about the fact that fuel is going to be increasing reportedly in price by midnight today. So I really want to find out your opinion. So in the meantime, I want to see everybody share this video, and everybody has to like. So I can only see about 30 likes. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, we have over 300 people watching us right now. So everybody watching me and listening to the sound of my voice, share, because we are about to get into today's discussion. So in the meantime, Want to and do what you have to do, because as you can see, we are gearing up to start today's presentation. And please, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to have discussions with a variety of people, especially about PF members, PF youths. You are welcome to today's discussion. So if you sympathize with the Patriotic Front, because I know for a fact a lot of you are claiming that Z Corner is a UPND page. Well, if PF people do not want to participate, what can we do? So at this particular moment, if you have any political party that you sympathize with, come to this show. Let us know what you feel about all the various topics that we're going to be talking about, and let us have this discussion. In the meantime, while I wait for the likes to go up, remember, we need to have at least 1,000 likes, and we also need to have at least 300 likes. I can only see 46 shares today. So keep on sharing. We need to have 300 shares. So share this particular live stream in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. And also hit the like button before we go on, because we are going to be talking about a lot of things. So let's do it right now. Share and tag everybody that you know, because it's about to get hot. It's about to get interesting, and let everybody know that everybody is welcome. Everybody is definitely welcome. So remember, we're going to be discussing Bowman Lusambo's proclamations in today's interview that he had at Hot FM. And then we're also going to be talking about the Energy Regulation Board reportedly about to hike the price of fuel. So keep on sharing, and then I'll be sharing the link that you can use to join this particular conversation. So hold on.
Don't kill your mwana wabene. Busy. Don't kill woman.
I want to move on to your seat, Honorable. Your seat has been nullified along with 8 others, and you have appealed to the Constitutional Court. Your party, the PF, has accused President Hichilema of launching a mission to transform Zambia from a multi-party democracy to a one-party state. Without debating the court cases, I know that you yesterday went and withdrew that case. What makes you sure that there is an attempt to take Zambia back to a one-party state? Because we also had this conversation when you were in power. You were also accused of the same, of wanting to take the country into a one-party state by the UPND. And now that you're in opposition, you're the one pointing at the UPND, saying they want to take this party into a one-party state, this country back to one-party state.
Pizzy, thank you very much for that question. Yes, that question, it's very important, but also it's very tricky, because we are trying to deal with an issue which is under the courts of law. For me, I can only answer just a little bit on the withdrawal. We have withdrawn our case in High Court, where myself and my colleagues, we went and seek for judicial review, and also a stay pending the determination of this case by the Constitution Court, and also restraining the Speaker of the National Assembly from removing us as members of Parliament from Parliament.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I can see you are sharing the stream right now. Continue doing that. Before we jump into the nitty-gritties, kindly hit the share button and the like button, because we need to have at least 300 shares before we continue. And just a reminder, I have just posted the link in order for you to join. So if you want to join and let the people understand your views and your point of analysis, rather, just use the link which has been pinned in the comment section below. So check out the link in the comment section. Use your phone and join, and be able to, give us your contributions and your overview of all the topics that we're going to be talking about today. Specifically, I really want to talk to PF sympathizers today. So the floor is open. we're not going to segregate. We do not segregate. Everybody is welcome. So instead of saying in the comment section saying, this is a UPND page, because you've got a tendency of saying that this is a UPND page. Well, why don't you join if you sympathize with the Patriotic Front? Let us know your opinion. So no excuse today. For my comment section, somebody saying this is a UPND page. If you're PF, come kuno, we're waiting for you. So in the meantime, I'll be waiting for people to join. I want people to join me right now. Check out the link in the comment section below. I just pinned it right now, and then just basically add your contribution. So basically, you heard Bowman Lusambo talking about the fact that the UPND want to introduce a one-party state. So what do you think about that outrageous proclamation by Bowman Lusambo? Clearly, he does not know what democracy really means, and he's obviously overstretching the truth, because the UPND is obviously flat out clean beating the PF at this particular moment. Bowman Lusambo and the other 8 or rather 7 nullified MPs obviously did some outrageous things, and this is one of the reasons why their seats were nullified. So it's their fault that their seats were nullified. It's not really the UPND's fault. So them talking about a one-party state, to me, is one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. So obviously the PF need to step up their game. They need to sober up. They need to get back to the basics and just basically convince the people, because democracy is all about competition. If you're not able to compete, you're not going to be able to have many numbers. So that's just basically what I feel about this particular proclamation coming through from Bowman Lusambo. But that's just me. Maybe I'm a little bit biased. Maybe I do not know what I'm talking about. So this is one of the reasons why I am definitely looking forward to seeing a lot of people from all, corners of Zambia. It doesn't really matter your ethnicity. It doesn't matter whether you are PF, DP, or anybody. So I can see some people coming through. Sadi, welcome to the show. How are you doing, my brother? How are you doing? Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. So today's topic. So you heard what Bowman said. First of all, what's your reaction to him saying that the Speaker of the National Assembly is a cheap cadre?
I think that I can say is that the UPND government.
And can you be like in a properly lit area? We can't see your face. Come on, gentlemen. Let's do the basics. We can't see your face. I mean, just find a better position. Then I'll bring you back. You're ruining the show, ladies and gentlemen. Don't mess up my show. I almost used the F word. Sorry. Yeah. So let's bring somebody here. Oscar, welcome to the show. How are you doing? All right. So let's bring another person. Aluwezu. How are you doing, my brother? How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm fine, and you?
Lovely, lovely, good. So what do you think about the proclamation by Bowman Lusambo saying the Speaker of the National Assembly is a cheap cadre? Cadre wa paka mwala. What's your reaction to that?
Manduna, what you're supposed to know is that Bowman Lusambo, he has no respect for a human being. We have seen him for so long, not giving respect to a human being. He always thinks that he is a star. He has no respect for, you can't call a speaker as a cheap cadre. When I compare the speaker now and the former speaker, Patrick Matibini, he was more cadre than this, because she's even allowing them to do whatever they want. Could Matibini allow this nonsense that Bowman Lusambo is doing? I don't think so.
So you talked about the fact that Bowman Lusambo has obviously had a past of being unruly. So can you give us instances from the past, that really made you justify that conclusive thought of yours?
If you remember when we had the COVID-19, this COVID-19, Bowman Lusambo took it as if it was a fight. I I'm one of the people who was even beaten by Bowman Lusambo. Just into the bus station, he just come and grab me. What are you doing here? Put the mask, but I had the mask. What could be the reason somebody who is a minister behaving like this? I don't think that Bowman Lusambo is even worthy even now to start even talking about na lol meeting no President Hakainde Hichilema is the way.
Mr. Aluwezu, so just for me to get the facts straight, right? You had an encounter with Bowman Lusambo, which wasn't very pleasant, right? And this is one of the reasons why, according to history and according to factual data from the past, Bowman Lusambo is one person who, is kind of unruly, if we can put it that way, for lack of a better term. And according to you, why do you think the majority of Zambians want to see the downfall of Bowman Lusambo? Why is he such a polarizing character that the majority of Zambians want to see him go down?
He's not worthy to even when he was a minister, he's not even worthy to be a minister. Because
what do you mean by worthiness? How can you define worthiness? Can you expound on that?
He's lewd. The man is lewd. He cannot understand. Even when somebody is explaining, he cannot understand. What he knows that he is superior. He can do whatever he wants. And today, I think they are even so lucky in this new dawn government, whereby they can even talk. I don't think that if the PF would won, I don't know where would be the people of Zambia now be. Like us, I don't know. The Southerners.
I see. And brother Aluwezu, not that it matters, but I would love to. You've got a very unique name. I've never seen such a name. Do you have any Zimbabwean heritage in you? Not that it matters. I'm just curious. You've got a very interesting name.
African heritage.
You've got South African. Heritage. Oh, lovely, lovely. This is a diversity that we're talking about. So this is very good. So I hope you were born in Zambia. Not that it matters, right?
Nah, I was been born in South Africa, but I came back to Zambia.
Lovely, lovely, good. Not that it matters, not that it matters. I was just curious because you've got a very. How do you pronounce your name, by the way? Ndabezitle.
No. I'm Ndabezinhle, meaning good news. If you said Ndabezite, it's a king. I'm not a son of a king, no.
Ah, lovely. So anyway, moving on to Bowman Lusambo. Interesting history, by the way. That just popped out. You heard Bowman Lusambo talking about the UPND having this agenda of having a one-party state. This is what the PF, the majority of PF, believe. They believe that since they were beaten fairly and squarely, they can't really accept it. So they are inclining to believe that they are sort of, the UPND is trying to have a one-party state, but they were clearly unfairly beaten. So what's your reaction to that? To the one-party state proclamation by Bowman Lusambo and all the PF people?
It's not true. They don't want just to accept that they have lost the election, and they become the crybabies. I don't know. When I saw them yesterday on the courtyard with this police yard with this Given Lubinda and his colleague, sometimes you may even think that is this the same colleague who was even beating people, the same colleague who was even singing in the parliament and saying if Ilungu ngatalipo bonsa abani bangwele. I don't think so. Think so. There is God in heaven. They must humble themselves and wait for the government, because HH is working. HH is bringing everything. If it was like HH is behaving like Edgar Lungu, I don't know whether police benzeri could even do that. They would have been beaten yesterday. I don't know. So they are even happy because They are free. Bangamuchite insult HH, bangachite insult whoever they want. Even you, they can even insult you. But no one can even come and arrest them.
Definitely. Thanks, Mr. Alu Uwezu. Stay on the line because we're going to get back to you. Profound, contributions from you. So let me allow other people to come through. So ladies and gentlemen, remember what I talked about, right? I want everybody to participate. So if you sympathize with the Patriotic Front, come kuno, everybody's welcome. So who's up next? So let's talk to Temba Mutalala. Mr. Temba, unmute yourself. Vatemba. All right, okay, he's snoozing. So let's kick him out. Let's bring in Happy Mwewa Moloveka. How you doing, sir? Unmute yourself. Good evening. Hello? Yeah, we can't hear you. All right, okay, so fix up your gadgets, then come through one more time. We'll allow you. So we pass it over to Brother Shadrick. Brother Shadrick, welcome to the show. How you doing? Good evening. You need to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah, there you go.
Good evening to the listeners. Good evening, the moderator, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for being part of Z Corner. So, one-party state talks coming in from the Patriotic Front. What's your take on that?
If I could be allowed to speak first, I'm actually in South Africa. I remember so very well that we, in the diaspora, we have fought the battles of wanting to redeem our country back. Zambia, we booted out the MMD, and we were the same people that voted for Michael Chirufya Sata, may his soul rest in peace. And immediately he passed on. Then even the party died because there was no proper preparation for one to take over. It started by the time they went to Mlungushi. It is when PF died completely, because what happened there, it was arrogance and taking our country back beyond even what Kaunda could have actually done. Now coming to Bowman Lusambo and the rest of the Creek of Thieves, I'm sorry to call them like that because I am so very angry for them to abuse the wonderful institutions of democracy that our current president is thriving and working hard to restore sanity. The Creek of Thieves are still roaming around freely and abusing the rights. You may be a sympathizer of PF, but I want to speak to the majority Zambians. Let's look at ourselves. We had lost identity. We had even gone beyond to what Zimbabwe is. We were actually into a hell. So if these people would be speaking of one-party state, Dr. Nevas Mumba would have not stood with HH. That is a very critical father of the nation. And if you look at Dr. Nevas Mumba's take right now and supporting HH and the New Dawn government, that should be able to click to their mind that they needed to humble themselves and have a remorseful heart. These are people that are very stubborn. If Bowman Lusambo really he can remember how he abused Zambians, beating them. And I wonder why he's still outside. He's supposed to be actually in prison, that man. He was not just a minister, he was actually a dictator and beyond. So I don't have any good sympathy for Patriotic Front. What I can simply say is that Zambians arise and shine. Reclaim your position and let these rotten politicians go back to the retirement and forget about them. Let the new blood take over. PF is gone. With all those kind of guys still making noise, they are even destroying it completely. If there will be any option, we are looking forward after HH. If HH would not select a good leader, Dr. Nevas Mumba can be the best, MMD can be the best in 2031 or furthermore. Thank you.
Thank you. Profound stuff coming through from Brother Shadrach, all the way from South Africa. I told you we're global, and for some reason, a lot of Zambians in South Africa are tuning in. I don't know what's happening. Brother Chambo is also from South Africa. What's going on? But anyways, good. We want all the Zambians from all parts of the world to join us, represent your location. So ladies and gentlemen, let me just remind the viewers to hit the like button and share this live stream. So basically we need to have about 400 shares and we only have 225 shares, which is below par. So if you are listening to the sound of my voice right now, I really hope you had a fantastic day. I hope you have been grinding, but you just have to help Z Corner grow its audience by doing your part, which is sharing and tagging at least 5 people. So what I want you to do right now is share this video on your timeline and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. We need to have about at least 400 shares tonight. So keep the lights coming up, the likes. You need to like the video as well, because we need to have at least 1,000 likes. At the moment, we only have 251, which is below par. So come on, ladies and gentlemen, help the Z Corner platform do what it has to do best. So in the meantime, before I bring in Brother Bobby and Brother Chambo, let me continue playing Bowman Lusambo's interview, because this is what we want to react to, and we are going to be talking about the Energy Regulation Board increasing the price of fuel. So in the meantime, let me just play this one more time. So gentlemen, listen to the arguments brought about by Bowman Lusambo, and then we're going to continue the discussion.
The reasons are simple. We went in, our lawyers went to High Court, and they went with a very urgent case. And the way this case was dragged up to yesterday, when it was communicated to all of us that they have put on hold the delivering of judgment until further notice. So to us, we thought our case is not considered as an urgent matter. The matter for Attorney General went in, it was express, and what an Attorney General wanted, he was granted. So we said that let us withdraw this case, because it is not taking us anywhere, because we were not given that importance, because our case was very urgent. So we decided to withdraw, but we are going to give the full press statement today to why we decided to withdraw.
Are we seeing you going back to the court again?
The case from the High Court, and waiting for further instruction and direction from our lawyers.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're waiting to hear what you and your lawyers have to say, because as far as we're concerned, if you leave it as is, meaning we will have to start talking about by-election.
Not really. But we'll communicate through the press statement. And the issue to do with one-party state, it is not even necessary, and it is not attainable for anyone. Yes, attempts can be there, but it's not attainable for anyone to push us back.
Are there attempts by the UPND to turn this country into a one-party state?
I don't know. The best judges are the people of Zambia.
Okay.
Those are the best judges.
Because those are accusations coming from your party, the Patriotic Front.
That's what I'm saying. The best judges are the people of Zambia.
So Bowman Lusambo basically said the best judges are the people of Zambia. So let's do this, because Z Corner deals with real people, real time. So to all the viewers out there, do you honestly think we are drifting towards a one-party state? So let me know what you think in the comment section below, because I'm going to be reading your statements, your contributions. So do you think Zambia is drifting towards a one-party state as proclaimed by Bowman Lusambo and the rest of the Patriotic Front, or you think it's cheap propaganda because they were fairly beaten and they are disgruntled? They are a little bit salty at this particular moment. So please let me know in the comment section below. below, and I'm going to continue reading your contribution. So anyway, before we move on to the hiked electricity prices, right, let's listen to the IMF argument coming in from Bowman Lusambo. And gentlemen on the panel, we are going to be discussing this. So listen attentively, and then we're going to have a discussion on the other end. So here, Bowman Lusambo talks about the IMF package that the UPND got. So let's listen, and then we have a discussion on the other end.
He told us, okay, I don't know where he was coming from, Malawi. He said, PF struggled to sign this deal with IMF for 7 years. And I was at home. I said, yes, Mr. President, you are very, very correct. We struggled to sign for IMF for 7 years. It's very correct. Because we didn't want to subject our people in abject poverty.
I want you to give me an example.
2 months, 2 months, 3 months they have been in office, they have signed. Us, we are not against Mr. Hakainde Hichilema signing. We know, all of us, we know that President Hakainde Hichilema doesn't like people. He doesn't like us, the sufferers, the laborers.
What makes you say so?
He wants to mingle with the some of us, the whites. That's the people wants to mingle with. We know that. We know.
Gentlemen, how do you react to that proclamation from Bowman Lusambo? Are you hearing what he is insinuating? So according to him, according to what he said the IMF deal package was signed because President Hakainde Hichilema doesn't like the people of Zambia. So what's your reaction to that? So Bobby, what's your contribution? Unmute yourself.
Yes, Wamuna, thank you. I think for me, I would say Waboma Nyukurandoko. Shonso Serovaranda out of frustration, you know. As we already know, my frustrations are from a consequence. This time around, it's like things are not going their way as he expected. First and foremost, Wari Rusa my elections by imagine. Secondly, city where one nullified. So whatever now is speaking is just out of frustrations. I mean, mwadishi wo muntu ngachako ati na usanga mu situation yako ati you can't defend yourself any longer. Things are not going the way you expected. You can say anything, you can utter anything.
Yeah, but do you think it's working? Do you think it's working? Like this cheap propaganda of the one-party state, and the Hakainde Hichilema trying to mingle with the whites and just trying to bring poverty, abject poverty, to the people of Zambia. Do you think people of Zambia are going to fall for it?
It's not working, Wamuna. The truth is, these guys are the ones that caused whatever trouble Zambia is going through right now. So for me, I believe the UPND leader is trying by all means to put things together and make sure that the Zambians benefit out of whatever movements he's making. I don't believe she take about Bowman if you no. One part state. I mean, Hakainde doesn't love the people of Zambia. It's not true. If they failed, they did not do anything. The only things they are concerned in matumba benefit. What makes him now with no Hakainde doesn't love it? That is not true. Those are just cheap propaganda. That is just cheap. I would say all those are being said out of frustration.
All right, thanks, Brother Bobby. Thanks, okay, Brother Bobby. We'll get back to you. So, Brother Emmanuel, you're coming next. Well, you're coming after Brother Chambo. Chambo, the IMF package, the PF attempted to get the IMF package a while back, but they weren't successful. But 2 months after the people of Zambia voted in, or rather ushered in the UPND, they were able to, easily grab that IMF package. But somebody is salty. The Patriotic Front are salty, and they are coming up with cheap propaganda. What's your opinion?
Can you hear me? I think my phone has gone crazy. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, we can.
Okay. So for me, I'd say integrity. That's the main thing I'm getting out of this. You know, the UPND have integrity. Or let me say Hakainde Hichilema has integrity, because if you look at the past regime, I mean, just to go back to the comment he made about, you know, liking the white people and whatnot. I mean, we had Chinese people selling maize on the road during the PF time, guys. Let's. I mean, even like, where'd you get these ideas from? It doesn't make any sense, you know. So for me, I feel like integrity played a huge part, and it just shows the seriousness between the two. You know, there's a big difference in seriousness, because these guys, I mean, there's many examples we can give of things that they did that kind of seemed like a one-party.
Brother Chambo, your sound is a little bit muffled. We can barely get you, so just fix it. We'll bring you back. Brother Emmanuel, your contribution, the IMF package and the insinuations Bowman Lusambo brought in. What's your contribution?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, Muna, and good evening, panelists. I think I'm very much disappointed with Bowman Lusambo. And for him to come out like that, it really tells me that his level of education is below par. Because someone who has been a minister cannot articulate issues like that. When you talk about the IMF package, during the PF, these guys struggled. They did not represent their case. It was not a bankable case that they could convince the IMF for them to get the package. But today he's saying they failed in 7 years because they didn't want people of Zambia to suffer. That's not true. That is rubbish. He should face the reality. They did not have a bankable argument before the IMF team, because I was listening to Anthony Walia when he was presenting the issue of how the fuel deal was being done. It was really a mess. It was really a mess with this the previous government, PF. I think we need to be realistic. Even Bowman Lusambo need to be realistic. They totally failed. They could not present a good argument before IMF team. Then coming to the issue of the other issue which he has talked about, what is this issue for the same Bowman Lusambo during his interview?
I can't really read your thoughts. I do not have telepathic
the
powers.
second one where he was saying the Zambians, we leave that the Zambians to judge.
About the one-party state issue.
Yeah, I think the UPND is in the right track, and I remember when President Hakainde Hichilema just came into power, he was able to say he was going to raise a bar. And that is the bar he's raising for them. They will not meet that bar. Now they want to divert the attention of people to see what Hakainde Hichilema is doing to their cheap politics. What they are doing is just cheap politicking. It's not real that the country will go back into one-part state. How? He's doing the right thing, and we need to support him. Where he goes astray, people will still talk to bring him back on the track. So the issue of Zambians, yes, Zambians will be able to know who has done better. Because for PF, actually, it did you the West. For us to be where we are, it's because of the PF. We have faced a lot of problems, and Bowman Lusambo should bear in mind that a lot of people suffered. There is no way he can say no. HH wants to mingle with the some of us, some of them, the whites. How? HH is mingling with the Zambian people at the grassroots, the poor of the poorest. This is where we have seen that things will trickle down to the poor of the poorest.
Brother Emmanuel, so let's do this. Let's peel back the layers. In the first place, why did President Hakainde Hichilema resort to getting an IMF package? Who brought about this particular mess in the first place? That's what we need to be talking about. Why are we getting an IMF package? What instances led us up to resorting to having no other options but obtaining an IMF package? Whose mess is this in the first place?
The mess is coming from the PF.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever mess we are found in is coming from the PF, and we had no option but to borrow so that we are able to at least win the confidence of the donors. For us, at least to be bailed out in some of the debts that the country has undergone through. And that was the reason why HH had no option, no any other option, apart from getting the bailout from the IMF. But this was caused by PF.
Thanks, Brother Emmanuel. We'll get back to you. Do not go away. Brother Shadrach, you had something to say. Then we'll pass it over to Brother Chambo. I hope you fixed your instruments. Brother Shadrach.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Whose fault is it that Zambia has resorted to using one of the last options, our last lines of defense? Whose fault is it that we are obtaining the IMF package? And what caused us to resort to this particular last resolution?
First thing and foremost, we've never had a corrupt party in leadership, in government, like PF was. They got the monies from the Chinese under the containers and the briefcase. There was no accountability. It's corruption that led us where we are. Fire tenders, you cannot buy a fire truck for $1 million. You guys, Zambians, we are jokers. We are actually laughing stock, even when we can be able to articulate things so well. But the PF made us to look like we are useless people in this world. You cannot import expired medicine for $17 million, expired condoms, and giving to your own people. If HH is a possible destroyer of the Zambian people, can they point on one thing? We need the reality of checks and balances. President HH, I am so proud actually to be on this platform as a Zambian living in a diaspora. We didn't want to affiliate ourselves with our country because it was an embarrassment. But today I am very proud because Zambia has risen above the expectation. We have a credible leadership.
Lovely, Brother Shadrach. Yeah, you're getting into that generic talk. We do not like generic talks where, but we get it and we do agree with you. Brother Chambo, what's your contribution? I've got a question for you, Brother Chambo. Alternatively, or rather, the Patriotic Front failed to pay one of the loans, and this is one of the reasons why we defaulted. If Bowman Lusambo and them had the wits, if they had the prowess to find alternative solutions other than IMF, why do you suppose they defaulted, and why are they beginning to, have this smear campaign when in the first place they failed to, meet the expectations and they defaulted on the loans? So why do you think they're backtracking and trying to paint the picture in the wrong way?
Basically, I think they're trying to cover up because, they know there's no individual citizen that will go and then check the records and whatnot. Obviously, we're being told that these things are being availed now. But it's just trying to keep, the name clean when it's so obvious that these guys have been dirty from the start. They failed because they were stealing the money, obviously. We saw during campaigns, they were dishing out money like it's nothing. People would line up just to get 100 kwacha. How do you stoop your people's level that low as a leader? You line people up just to receive 100 kwacha and whatever it is that they were giving. So, it's obvious how they failed and why they failed. It's just lack of integrity, credibility, and now it's trying to, keep the narrative going of, oh no, we tried our best, but we couldn't and whatnot. And this thing of HH getting the IMF thing, he doesn't love the Zambians. I mean, what kind of insinuation is that? They're the reason we're in this mess in the first place. You know, how many loans did they default on? You know, and they never even bothered to come into public domain and tell us, oh guys, this is how the loans are going. This is how much we were due to pay. We only knew how much we owed when Thingy came in power. You know, that saved everything. You know, at the end of the day, if you listen to what they say, for me, sometimes I even question myself, are these guys really just politicking, or it's just that fear of you know? Even if it's politicking, you can't just go that low. Like, no.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, brother Chambo. Let's pass it over to the youth advocate Wamukavushi. So, the youth advocate, Bowman Lusambo, and the remarks he made with regards to the IMF and Hakai in the Hichilema. What's your contribution with regards to his statement?
Thank you very much, Mr. Muna. Good evening to the panelists out there and also to the viewers. I think Mr. Lusambo, just like Vince, we don't know if he's a politician because we cannot start complaining too much while there's form ruling in the same country, which you are complaining. So I don't know if he's offering checks and balances, or maybe it's just making this country to be worse. Because just like the other party said, if there's any political party which has made us to suffer the way we are suffering, it's the PF regime. That's why who brought in the idea of honeybee? It's the same government. Now today we are seeing our IMF, even IMF, kwatama conditions. Nanguni kumanga mukupanda abantu. Bafuire first bakuridinga mind. So tachirandire chakobati chinga bapoka bena package. Shiabati yo kupanga one party state. That's why these ministers, the other ministers, Bowman Lusambo, I think they don't understand civic education much better. In a one party state, and these people, they don't also understand the term diaspora, because that's why Mr. Lusambo said, because he knows that in capacity, government because HH, whatever the movement is doing, is actually fighting for the people of this country. We are getting COVID certificates. I also wanted to get a hunger certificate because we passed through a lot of problems. MUPF. So if about Bowman that you're one party state, stay one party state. Too much Chinese, too much Chinese, and Mr. Bafu Charo. Remember when Abungo Mure Ponta, Umuma clinics saying Mr. Muna, if he's a Muscat Sangamo USA, you said this from the American people. Shamona po NGO ya bafa nama Chinese. Ama Chinese bena batemo kwa pela vetenda no kura Kongo Kongo. So that's why our panelists bachirandati Zambia chat we are jokes. Ile I concur with that panelist. Zambia turashite fin kwatka wambi. Ba Bowman batu ko ni ba kopa bill minister. Bantu abali punbaru saka minister. Finish of our bombre prefer ama achievement atwa mona up for mukura uma abantu amapiati COVID. Na muntu esambo kuraidishana pari one party state. So Bowman, we are challenging you. You're in one party state. Definitely imbiku ya psa. But pay one party state oyo tuishibe. That's why this is the most important thing. You should also be advancing your studies. Number na mushaira padi ya kweba tukurondorwera. Because one number PF if ya skaya kweba nibiria mukabuka ni mufamu uwa kwetano abutuka. Napoleon yeno rwairapo snobali mubutsha snobo abutuka era efya guska twari muna makora penefi arrest na nomba kumwambo kula ku police na tukuliati awe alewa nomba pokaka mu that's why twari mu kwangala especially Zambia. So if you want to miss muna ba Bowman batanda yakwaba ba Bowman yabene be pusheni at civic education one party state aranda shani. I don't know that's why for Sungu. Momo area kutuma Chinese. Utuma Chinese Mr. Muna sha mwana pona ngwa panelist mbe shomwari mwana koko amachizi ya fuirishapo Americans USAID, it is actually run and found by the American people.
Okay,
organization.
We'll get back to you. We'll get back to you, Kavushi. So, gentlemen, panelists, let's continue listening to this interview for Bowman Lusambo. I just want to remind the viewers out there, kindly share this video because we need to have 400 shares. We only have 298. So if you are watching us and if you are really loving the conversation, take 1 second of your life, share this video on your Facebook page and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. We need to have at least 400 shares and I can only see 400 likes. We need to have 1,000 likes by the end of this live stream. We are 600 likes away from our target. So kindly like this video and also share it, share and tag everybody that is needed. So let's continue listening to Bowman Lusambo and let us decipher his arguments.
That is President Hakainde Hichilema category. He wants to mingle with the bosses, the whites.
What makes you say that, Honorable
Lusambo? He doesn't like us. He doesn't like us.
What makes you say all that? What makes you think he doesn't like us? What makes you think he doesn't want to mingle with Zambians?
They can't sign up with the IMF. They are signing up with the IMF with the first package, according to what we know, 1.4, is it 1.4 million, 1.4 billion? Do you know how much money we are losing by giving those mining companies tax holidays? We have a lot of money in this country. And President Hakainde Hichilema, he came on the political scene by saying he's the best negotiator. You know, there are a lot of things that President Hakainde Hichilema told us. And it's very unfortunate that Imwabenapis, the journalist, you're not.
By the way, gentlemen, did you catch that? First of all, he started praising President Hakainde Hichilema, saying he's the best negotiator. Yes, he did negotiate for the IMF package. That's why the UPND got it in 2 months, because he's the best negotiator. But he caught himself, so he had to change the narrative. And then he also said Zambia has got a lot of money. But how come the PF defaulted on the IMF loans? How come the PF defaulted on the IMF loans when he confessed Zambia has got a lot of money? But he caught himself and then he had to do what he does best, scapegoating and and just deflecting. So anyway, Mr. Aluzue, react to that particular segment of the conversation. What's your reaction to the little sneak peek, whatever we played?
Yeah. You know, I don't know what to say about this politician. I don't know whether it's a politician or who. Bowman Lusambo, at first, it was the first time for our country to default Zambia. When Bowman Lusambo was on front of those people who was even negotiating, who could even let the country not even default, but the country default on their nose. But today is the very person who is saying Hakainde Hichilema doesn't love the people of Zambia. So all the money that he was dishing out was that a love of the people of Zambia? Are you sure? That was the only thing that they could do. These are the same people who lured President Edgar Lungu to lose even the election, because he thought that maybe they are helping him when they was even helping themselves.
Now imagine getting advice from Bowman Lusambo with that sort of deflection. This is why Edgar Lungu was obviously cheated.
Yes. You can't get any advice from such a person. No. No matter how it is, you can't. The man, I don't know, is so stubborn. He thinks that he knows everything, but he is a dunderhead, the complete person that I've ever seen. And this man, I think the only thing that is going to reduce him, I think one day he's supposed to only just a day in the prison. I think when you come back, you have a sense of knowing that who is who, why people calling him Bowman Lusambo.
All right, brother Aluwezu, we'll be back. Let's continue playing this. Then up next, brother Shadrick, be prepared, and then we're also going to have brother Oscar. Gentlemen, stay on topic. We're reacting to Bowman Lusambo's argument, so stay on topic. So let's listen to this, then we'll continue the conversation. So, brother Shadrick, get ready.
Asking him. You're not taking this opportunity to ask him, Your Excellency, but President Hakainde Hichilema is just a human being like me and you. And you have given him, it's us, the people of Zambia, who have given President Hakainde Hichilema a status. It's us. It is our status. We can remove it at any given time. It is our status. It's carrying our status.
I understand that, Honorable Lusambo, but also
it is your job as media fraternity to be asking him, okay, instead of going to the airport and start asking about funny questions. Ask President Hakainde Hichilema. President Hakainde Hichilema, you promised us that you're going to reduce the pump fuel price. Now we want you to tell the people of Zambia, the IMF, okay, the IMF in their communique, they told us that you have decided to take on board and ambitious decisions. Can you tell us which ambitious, which bold and ambitious decisions are they talking about?
Honorable Lusambo, it's also a responsibility as a media to ask you when new plans are veiled to us by government. Excuse me. When new plans are veiled to us by government, and as you are opposing to these new plans that have been and new ideas that have been presented forward by the new Dawn administration, as to why yours didn't work. Okay, you say we have a lot of money in this country, and we didn't need to give these mining companies these tax holidays because they're giving us so much money. Why is this country in so much debt? Exactly. Why do we owe so much in fuel subsidy debt? Why do we have so much debt that was being accrued if we had so much money?
Now, let's listen to the way the Honorable will attempt to answer this question.
So where did you, as the PF administration, take all this money that you are talking about since this country is in so much debt?
Thank you very much for that question, Pizzy. Pizzy, if there is a rich country on this earth, it's Zambia.
On paper, that is.
It's Zambia. And the reason why we are here today, it's because of you and me minding the mindset. Okay? Our mindsets, Pizzy. We go to school.
So basically, he said Zambia is indebted because of the mindset. And this is a former leader. So is he saying that the mindset of the Patriotic Front was wrong? That's why they couldn't do the right thing. So isn't that justifying why the people of Zambia chucked them out of power? So, Brother Shadrick, what do you think about the mindset argument that he says? And owing to the fact that him and the Patriotic Front are responsible for putting Zambia in this mess, why does he have the audacity to continue talking when they clearly failed and they apparently have the wrong mindset?
Thank you, Mr. Moon, and thank you to the panelists and the viewers. First and foremost, I love the journalist because he was very sincere with the questioning, and he didn't expect those questions because, telling you the truth, they have failed to eat their humble pie, in the sense that, remember, at the beginning, I started by saying the leadership of PF failed when the thuggery regime took over and put Edgar Lungu to presidency. Now, by that time, the former president owed the thugs for putting him as a party president prior to election. And at the time of picking up the leadership, the former president Edgar Lungu had to pay for them to have put him on the presidency. Hence, we didn't have the credible leadership. Bowman Lusambo is not supposed to be a member of parliament. I am sorry to say that. It's unfortunate. We have vibrant people in Zambia. We have big brains. We cannot be actually having him on the media parading as a former minister and speaking like that when the world is watching. We are becoming a laughing stock. Because remember, as long as he's still regarded as a former minister and going to parade that stupidity on platform of media, it is actually portraying on the shallow mind of us Zambians. We are assumed to be of his level. The whole regime of PF, they had only one thing in common, and that is the truth, was to ruin Zambia and not caring for Zambian people. His mindset is a mindset of actually animal farm. Hence, I appeal, honestly speaking, that with these checks and balances, that are not actually checks and balances, but people that have run out of ideas. Us Zambians, let's continue showing them the gate. We voted them out, and they are still coming to parade as us Zambian. We are of the shallow mind. What question can you ask President HH today? Honestly speaking, the panelists, the viewers, fellow Zambians, what question can you ask this credible man who works 24/7 to bring dignity to our country? What is it that he has done wrong? He has managed to score a lot of things. Thuggery, Cadreism, everything is out. That is the thing that Bowman Lusambo and his former president, they were good at, and routing our resources. I want to simply say, we don't have leadership in PF. We don't have actually opposition as PF. It is dead. There is nothing that they can articulate. If they were wise enough, they needed actually to align themselves and simply say, we failed, but here is a leadership that is taking Zambia somewhere. If they were genuine leaders, they needed to humble themselves and simply say, HH, we are available. We might have gone astray, but your leadership that is actually taking and putting Zambians, the majority Zambians at heart. We are ready to work with you, but not going to discredit HH. If the Americans would be able to actually understand HH's cry for Zambia, then who are they that they can be able to ask us such questions and make us feel so demeaned? I'm sorry to say that, but I want to thank you for this opportunity. My reaction is that we need leadership.
All right, thanks, Brother Shedrick. So let's pass it over to Brother Oscar. So remember, don't stray from the talking line. I almost said Honorable Bowman Lusambo. Mr. Bowman Lusambo claims the mindset is what Zambia is lacking. And this is somewhat of a confession coming from him. And he is representing the Patriotic Front. So basically, in simple terms, he is admitting that the mindset of the Patriotic Front was so wrong and so bad, so poor, we ended up defaulting. How do you react to his statement? Unmute yourself. Yes, we can hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mona. Good evening, the panelists, and good evening, all the Zambians following this lovely program. My reaction to Bowman Lusambo's words, first of all, is of course it's total disappointment and shame. When you listen to such a person, I feel ashamed of myself, and I can never ever show anyone from outside Zambia and comment on the utterances of Mr. Lusambo. Bowman Lusambo is a shame to the government. I don't think we have had any person like him. I don't know. We have any ministers, even those ministers who maybe they would not speak.
Brother Oscar, so you're saying Bowman Lusambo is so bad, Zambia has never had. Who can we compare Bowman Lusambo to in the history of Zambian politics?
I
think he's the first of his kind.
Yeah, I find it very difficult to find any bad politician who I can compare to Bowman Lusambo. Why? He is out of his senses, like he doesn't live the reality. If you listen to him, in one sentence, he poses a question, he refuses to the same question he's posing, he answers to it, and he condemns it, just in one question. So he's talking about the IMF is talking about the change of the mindset. Now, listen to this. His distorted way of thinking. There is need of the change of the mindset. So the first part of this phrase, he accepts. He is telling us Zambians were right to kick us out of government because the mindset was wrong. What was wrong? Putting the authority into the cadre's hands and cadre's power. And one of the cadres, he is Bowman Lusambo himself. For me, Bowman Lusambo, he is a mere cadre who, because of his cheap and childish psychology, he has been bootlicking, I don't like this word, but let me use it, bootlicking Edgar Chagwa, and I don't understand what was in the mind of Edgar Chagwa to believe in such a man. How can you believe in such a man? Even now, look at this. Given Luinda, you are the vice president of the PF. How do you believe, you people, in such a man? Why do you leave him to speak? Let us change our country. We need to change our Zambian country. We have suffered a lot. People have suffered a lot under these people who do not look at the reality. They thought cheating the Zambians was a key to govern the country. They cheated the young people for so long. The young people were not cheated. They cheated the Zambians. They thought Zambians were not cheated. Zambians were not cheated. Zambians were not allowed to speak. It's different. They could not listen to us from the diaspora. Do you know how they have insulted us? We could not talk because they thought, being in the diaspora, shut up, do whatever you have, run away from this country. What do you mean? I am a Zambian. Do you know, Bowman Lusambo, how many people I help in the Zambian, in Zambia? Do you know? With your shallow mind. Because you are shallow-minded. That's why you would think, even now, this guy, have the audacity to think that Zambians, they are now disappointed. Zambians, they will make HH to die. Toto, allow me, I'm not insulting, but all his utterances really is total rubbish. Let's protect the youth. Kabushi graduate is on the panel. He's not there. He's gone.
He's probably watching. He's gone.
Yeah, but Kabushi graduate, you talk to the youth there in Kabushi. This guy is a shame to the place. The Zambians value to corrupt. They corrupted us. This Bowman Lusambo, okay, he alleged corrupt. Anyway, let's use that diplomatic way of saying things. They were giving the people man. No, Baba Kabushi, please, we are appealing you. Look forward. Change the page. You are not going to lose anything. If you lose Bowman Lusambo, Baba Kabushi, you are losing nothing. Absolutely. I've studied at Chiwala boarding technical secondary school, so I was in Ndola. I grew up in Ndola. Such type of a person can never have been a leader of Chiwala, a boarding school. We were going to march in Mukuyu and we were going to visit his office to shut him down. But now he's a minister. Oh, well, no, he's not a minister anymore. Thanks God. He's not even a minister anymore. We hope he never holds a public office anymore. It's shameful. If Bowman Lusambo, you are listening, you have taken the Zambians granted too much. Too much. Feel ashamed of yourself. The time you teased the Zambians is over. It's finished. If you don't understand, Listen to your fellow brother Chishimba Kambwiri. He has accepted. We made a mistake. Listen to your Vice President, Honorable, who is this?
Given Luvinda.
Luvinda. Listen to him. Given Luvinda said the post-mortem of your party, PF, was too much arrogant. You did not listen to the Zambians. You allowed Cadreisms and too much corruption. Listen to the Zambian, to your friends. Now you guys, you are so confused that given Lulimba accepts, Bowman Lusambo refuses, Chishimba Kambwiri refuses, the other one accepts. Binoculars man, I don't know his position. What is happening with you people? Come to reality, please. Come back to reality. Let us build the Zambia. We also need you to build Zambia, which you have destroyed. Accept this. And thank God you will never, never come back to power. Get my words. If you want to be helped psychologically, you can ask Mr. Muna. I will give you my number. I will help you psychologically. It's shameful.
Thanks, Brother Oscar. Thanks, Brother Oscar.
Sorry, my panelists. Sorry, I've been a bit emotional, but
no, you're passionate. I hate the word emotional. You're passionate. You're passionate about your arguments. All right, okay. So now let's pass it over to Brother Emmanuel. So, gentlemen, we're going to move on to the fuel subsidy because we need to let the people understand why GRZ had no other option but to, sort of hike up the prices. But anyway, I want to hear your free thoughts and just basically your understanding of the whole situation, the whole scenario. So, Brother Emmanuel, before we go back to the issue of subsidies, right, I want you to react to the statement that Bowman Lusambo said with regards to mindset and due to the fact that these guys were ruling. And he's talking about the mindset change when they had the opportunity to rule Zambia, so that's what I want you to talk about. But in the meantime, I want to take this humble opportunity to remind our viewers, thank you very much for tuning into Z Corner. We are your community TV station, and we are here to provide you with the best news, live reaction. If you want to find out the sentiments of Zambian people, the only platform where you can get absolute real-time reaction to all the issues relating and affecting Zambia is Z Corner. I just want to take this humble opportunity to say thank you for being part of Z Corner. We really thank you for the support that you have been rendering us. And at this particular moment, I want to ask you to share this video. I can see some few people joining us. We need to have at least 600 shares by the end of this video. At this particular moment, we only have 400 shares. So if you haven't had the privilege of sharing this particular video, please do help us. It only takes 1 second. Share this video on your timeline, on your Facebook page, and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. And also smash the like button. Like this video because we need to have at least 1,000 likes because it does help us get motivated because we are doing this purely out of free will. And this is, something that we are passionate about. We do not get any money from having these live streams. So the least thing that you can do is help us spread the word and help us grow our platform. So thank you very much. Share this video, and tag as many people as you can. So Brother Emmanuel has left us. He was about to give us his opinion. But anyway, gentlemen, let's talk about the fact that the price of fuel is reported to be increased by midnight tonight. So let me just pull up that information because I want to show you the proof. So according to the information coming through from the Energy Regulation Board, right, we are bound to have some price spikes. So the first thing that I would love to talk about is we need to use the subsidy narrative because everybody knows that the subsidies were sort of removed, they were revoked. And that obviously has got implications on the price of different commodities such as, electricity and fuel. So do you think this particular move is justifiable? And why are we getting to this particular resolution? So Brother Shadri can go for that one. And then we'll pass it over to Brother Chambo. So fuel increase bound to happen by midnight. First of all, can you give us the genesis of this particular resolution, because the people of Zambia need to understand. We need to break it down for the citizens to understand why we are getting to this particular, scenario. Brother Shadrach.
Thank you so much, Brother Munna, and thank you to the panelists and the viewers. I will begin to speak about the 10 years of incompetence and destroying of the economy of Zambia. And the New Dawn government at this particular time, after they have discovered the loopholes that caused the real damage, and when they went to IMF to get the package, basically, there are certain things that they could have actually, IMF could have detected from the former regime. And those are terms and conditions that could have actually become difficult for the previous regime to meet. And hence, the genuine government that we have of the day has brought up this. It's going to be a bit tough for now. We have to fasten the belts because we are in the process of rebuilding the economy. Hence, they have to take the subsidies away that they can be able to increase fuel. When they increase fuel, they are meeting also, they are becoming in line with IMF and the conditions. Thereafter, the rich people that are actually driving the vehicles, they will put money into the coffers of our government by paying taxes and as well on the increment of the fuel. And in the later stage, the government will be able to raise money by itself, and that money will be brought back into the economy, that they can even be able to bring the subsidies down, because at that particular time, our coffers are going to have a bit of money. Currently, we do not have money. We are actually running on the almost empty coffers. And therefore, if we are getting the package to consolidate the other borrowing that we've had in the past 10 years and which brought the economy down, in my own personal view, is that it is very important that we accept to fasten the belt, that let the fuel go up. It is for a little while, but later on, the benefits in this policy, they will be able to become very effective on the free education and any other necessities for the poorest Zambians. I thank you.
Right. So, gentlemen, my panelists, do you know the genesis of this particular outcome? Do you know why the fuel prices and obviously the other subsidized commodities will eventually go up? Do you know why we're having this particular situation? So you can nod your head if you do know before I play a video, because I need to let the viewers understand where we are coming from and why this is happening. So do I have your permission to play the explanation coming through from Anthony Vuele, so that people who are watching us can have a better understanding before we get into the deep argument of why this is happening? So my panelists, are you allowing me to play that video? All right. Okay. So let me just play the video right now, and then the people are going to understand what is happening. In the meantime, Brother Oscar, you wanted to say something? Unmute yourself.
I just wanted to say, I think all this is inevitable. It is inevitable first because they did not tell the Zambians. The former government did not tell us that there were subsidies on fuel, and there were subsidies on electricity. So there are many things that the former government did not tell the Zambians. They did not tell us.
Definitely. Brother Oscar, hold on to your fire.
I think that is the main key. They were subsidies which were hidden to the Zambians. Now these governments are telling us, and they are finding a possible solution.
Right. So, Brother Oscar, I'll get back to you. Hold on to your thoughts, because I know you've got a lot of things to talk about. But I just want to set the record straight for the viewers, because some of our viewers might not know what exactly we're talking about. So, Brother Oscar and Brother Chambo, just hold on to your thoughts.
The only problem was this, which the Zambian people don't know. That subsidy was not for you, my friends. It was not for you. I have been privileged to look at where the so-called subsidy was going on fuel.
Where was it going?
When you look at the structure of your pump price, there are transportation costs in there. Transportation. That subsidy was going towards paying for transportation costs on fuel. Now, two things you need to know about transportation costs of fuel. Number one, they were inflated by over 200%. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the people who owned the vehicles that were moving fuel were your ministers in government. They connived with their friends, foreigners, to be borrowing expensive money. They bring it into the country. Rather than employing teachers, they say, no, we need a subsidy on fuel, right? Except that subsidy was going towards paying for transportation of fuel when they knew full well that the tankers were theirs.
So I really hope the viewers are able to connect the dots, right? Obviously, you saw the fuel tankers, imported and just basically be bought on a massive scale. So this was what was happening with regards to the subsidy, to the procurement process, and so on and so forth. But before we continue, I would love to remind the viewers to continue sharing this video because we need to have at least 700 shares. So at this particular moment, we are only about 100 shares away from 700 shares. So let everybody watching me right now, if you can see me, if you can hear the sound of my voice, and if you haven't had the privilege of sharing this live stream, kindly do so because we are putting in a lot of effort. We are dedicated and you guys are loving our work. So kindly help the platform get bigger by sharing. Sharing is caring. So share this video on your Facebook page and in 5 different Facebook groups that you belong to. And we also need to have at least 1,000 likes by the end of the live stream. So we only have about 400 likes. So everybody watching me right now, hit the like button. In case you haven't done that, we need to have about 1,000 likes before we continue. So keep on sharing, keep on tagging more and more people. So let's continue listening to Anthony Vualia because he further explains why the fuel price increment is inevitable and how the clique of thieves were stealing Zambian people's money. So let's listen to this.
Really quickly before we open the phone line.
We talked about
subsidies on fuel and energy. People are expecting to have a better standard of living, so cost of business going down and so forth. How does this affect those two?
So, for the past 10 years, you and I and the Zambian people were told that subsidies were on fuel and electricity because it was benefiting us. That's what we're told. Now, every month, the previous regime was spending $67 million subsidizing fuel and another $40 million subsidizing electricity. In total, $107 million per month. On an annual basis, $1.3 billion. Now, this is money we did not have, by the way. This is money that was being borrowed expensively from outside. It comes in, then your government sits. And they say, we are not going to employ teachers. We are going to subsidize fuel. We are not going to employ nurses and doctors. We are going to subsidize fuel. We are not going to pay pensioners their retirement benefits. We are going to subsidize fuel. We are not going to pay CDF or equalization fund. We are going to subsidize fuel. We are not going to allow our kids to go to school. We are going to subsidize fuel. We are going to let the poor die because there's no food security support. We are going to subsidize fuel. The only problem was this, which the Zambian people don't know. That subsidy was not for you, my friends. It was not for you. I have been privileged to look at where the so-called subsidy was going on fuel.
Where was it going?
When you look at the structure of your pump price, there are transportation costs in there. Transportation. That subsidy was going towards paying for transportation costs on fuel. Now, two things you need to know about transportation costs for fuel. Number one, they were inflated by over 200%. Okay, that's number one. Number two, the people who owned the vehicles that were moving fuel were your ministers in government. They connived with their friends, foreigners, to be borrowing expensive money. They bring it into the country. Rather than employing teachers, they say, no, we need a subsidy on fuel, right? Except that subsidy was going towards paying for transportation of fuel when they knew full well that the tankers were theirs. They knew that. And you can clearly see why the motivation. Because when you look at the broader scheme of things anyway, over 60% of both fuel and electricity in this country is not used by poor people. It's not. Poor people in this country only consume 2% of both fuel and electricity. Did you know that? 2%. The rest of it is industrial use, principally the mines. But for 10 years, they made us all believe that the subsidy was for us. It was not for us. This is why they were getting rich. You and I were getting poor.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Anthony Vualia, who happens to be the spokesperson for the president, breaks it down. I do not know how we can break this issue down. Now, he really broke down how things were being done, how business was being conducted in the past 10 years. So if we have to connect what Anthony Vualia talked about, right, and the mindset problem that Bowman Lusambo clearly admitted to not having, do you see the correlation? Do you see the connection? First of all, Bowman Lusambo, in that interview that we watched, he said for the past 10 years, he low-key admitted, unconsciously admitted, that the biggest problem with Zambia is the fact that our mindset is wrong. And he clearly admitted unconsciously that the PF mindset was obviously wrong. And this is one of the reasons why, if you listen to the explanation, the clear laid down explanation of Anthony Vualia, wouldn't you gentlemen agree that now we are having a mindset shift, even though at this particular moment, yes, there's going to be there's going to be effects. There's going to be an inevitable reaction, which is obviously going to lead up to the price hike of the fuel. But the benefit is obviously going to go to the majority of Zambians, because at this particular moment, right, this move that the UPND has done will obviously bring in development to the greater scale, and it will affect positively a greater amount of people instead of just having a few clique of thieves. So getting to connect what Bowman Lusambo talked about with regards to mindset shifting, right? Do you really believe that the mindset change and the way that the UPND is doing things is obviously going to have a long-term ripple effect in a positive way with regards to improving Zambia? What's your whole analysis of this, subsidy issue, the prices pumping up, and, how Zambians are going to react to this particular price pump? Brother Oscar, continue. Unmute yourself.
Yes, Brother Muna, thank you. I think that is one thing which was positive in Bowman's reflection, the change of the mindset. Definitely, we need to change. Though I would say that maybe the Zambians actually were just not allowed to express themselves. So the people who need to change their mindsets are the people who have been governing this country for the past 7 years. The Zambians, Mr. Mona, many young people, they know where the wrong things were. So this this saga of transportation, putting the transport business in the hands of ministers who are holding office. I don't know in Zambia if there is they allow the conflict of I don't know. Here they cannot allow a minister in Europe cannot have a business industry, cannot hold any transportation business. It's conflict. It's a conflict of power.
Interest.
So, yeah, of interest. Sorry, it's a conflict of interest. So you are not allowed to have unless you were a businessman before and you enter into politics. That is different. But when you are a politician and you start business, that one is not allowed here in Italy and I think in Europe. Now,
yes, now, Brother Oscar, there's a concern which is being raised by Zalilo Moyo. So, Zalilo, kindly join the link in the comment section because it is apparent you do not clearly understand things. And instead of just being a keyboard warrior, use the link in the description, join us, and then defend what the Patriotic Front were doing, because clearly you are a Patriotic Front sympathizer. So you are welcome to participate. Let's have a one-on-one conversation, and then you get to expound and explain the things that you are supporting. So Brother Zalilo Moyo says, you say that you fix all the damages PF did. Is this what you're telling us? Don't say PF now, fix it and don't mention PF. How can you not mention PF when they are the cause and they are the ones who brought us in this particular mess in the beginning? And by the way, removing subsidies is part of fixing the economy.
Yes, that's it. It's part of it. Mr. Muna, I think also to this brother of ours, Zalilo, these people were psychologically, they have been damaged by the PF system. They have been damaged. They have stopped giving a critical analysis of any event. So we can never, and we will never stop talking about PF. PF now is part of the Zambian political history. Zambian political history. So if they are saying, no, don't talk about our problems or wrongs, no, that is your classic cheap psychology. We are not.
Yes, and Brother Oscar.
Yes.
People like Zalilo Moyo, these are obviously believers of people like Bowman Lusambo. These are Bowman Lusambo's children. Absolutely no levels of understanding and critically analyzing things. You see, in life there is cause and effect. For example, right now Zambians are talking about the drought and the lack of rain. Do you know what was happening to the ecosystem, our environment in the past 7 years? Do you know how much damage the PF brought in with regards to how unregulated their cutting down of trees via Mukula trading and all that stuff? The effects that we are facing right now are due to the fact that the Patriotic Front were absolutely, reckless. This is a fact. There is, or rather there are causes and effects.
It's consequential. Yes, you are right, Mr. Muna. It is consequential. We are paying the damage, the irresponsibility of our former leaders. And I hope, myself, I wish with all my heart that some of these guys, they can come and we discuss. Why can't they just come openly?
That's why we're inviting them. We're inviting you, Brother Zalilo. Come through, turn on your video, get proper lighting, join the discussion. We have a one-on-one conversation, and let's listen to the way that you think and analyze, because clearly you do not really have the capability to thoroughly and objectively analyze critical situations. You are obviously a one-kwacha Cadre. When you're given you're good. You've got you don't have the capability of processing intricate details. So I don't even want to spend a lot of time with addressing people like Zalilo.
We will invite. I think Mr. Muna, you are right. Now let us invite them. Why can't they come on the platform and explain and defend themselves? Right. So I wanted to say, Mr. Anthony Walia was very clear, very cool, very steady to explain what has happened. I want just to add on what Anthony Walia said. I cannot interpret because it is very, very clear. One of the facts that really gives credit to Anthony Walia's explanation is when the former government started announcing that they realized that they neglected the youth. They realized, if you remember, after the Pilato protest and all those things, the disgruntled, whatever they mentioned, they realized that they neglected the youth. So what did they do? They came up with a solution: youth empowerment. And not only youth empowerment, they added another thing: church empowerment. It's the same thing. They empowered their papas, this and that. They gave them money. The brown envelopes they gave to the papas, it was also to get support from them. It's not the church, real church, to empower them. So youth empowerment. Mr. Muna, the youth had no jobs. You go and buy, as a government, you go and buy the tankers without consulting the youth who you wanted to empower. Where did that decision come from? You see that these people, they continued. And my opinion is, I would love, sooner or later, even the people on the panel, if somebody can come to help me, I would love to understand who gave them this idea. Whose idea was it to steal from the Zambians through this transportation of fuel and through the supply of electricity to where? Not to the Zambians. You remember the load shedding, Mr. Mona. You remember how the load shedding. Now, who was getting advantage of the electricity? The mines. Who were heading the mines? Who were in the mine system and business?
Who's the provisional liquidator of KCM?
Yes,
simple
man.
Question.
Come on, please. This is a puzzle. If you want to draft your pa, to draft. You give that one, we answer. So it was a puzzle. They said load shedding. Only the mines were supplied with electricity. Who were in the mines? PF aligned business people, or they are, I don't know what I can call them. And then they were exporting also electricity. Remember, they did even export electricity. And then they invested in the transportation of crude oil, which, according to Anthony Walia, it was the price was not doubled, tripled, if not quadrupled. The price of crude oil and the price of transportation. Fionse fimwebe na Zambia umfweni no mbala ifetu halali pila fetuleli pila. If you have abantu batufyengele, I'm speaking in Bemba paka chinja fwa kwa kumushikumu Yesu kungumboko. Mwebe na luapula ala kwe na pa bala chitako increase ma tariffs ya electricity nefya petro pantu kwe na inkongole tulino kulipila. We don't want to default for the second time because next year we are due to pay Eurobonds. By Bowman Lusambo, they don't have any plan even to pay Eurobond. By China, Eurobond, and our Zambian country was going to be given to foreigners. So, kudos to this government. Chimono ule luala malaria, ngana luala malaria. Ilia time yandiwa muna when I was a young boy, balet pelo muchobe that chloroquine. Mwadinu hapa mamuna. Have you drank chloroquine?
I've never had malaria in my life. I'm privileged, but I understand.
So you understand. No, but malaria is one of the deadliest diseases in Zambia. Many people die of malaria. One of the tablets they were giving us is called chloroquine. Chloroquine, when you drank chloroquine, you started another suffering, which was ukufwenya katishobona lalanda kufwenya Bamuna, it was terrible, but you needed to drink that chloroquine so that you can get cured of malaria. So Zambians, our economy is sick. Our economy yalilwala. How do we get cured of this economy? Ukunuomuti ualulanga chloroquine. This is what now Akainde Chilema is trying to give us. For how long? Kutiwanji pshavena Zambia. For how long? A year and a half might be enough. Ukuchula kofi panono tukaka kelamba. Wena Zambia tien tuka kelamba. Twakula afuirishanya. Twakula aliako tumusalu panono. But bright future is on our way. Jobs, lovely
Thanks, brother
country,
Oscar.
beautiful country. Thank you so
Yeah, let's pass it on to Brother Siambuli, then we'll pass it over to Brother Tiki. But Brother Oscar, do not go anywhere. We're going to get back to you. So, Brother Siambuli, Bayani, listen to this question because I don't want you to go off on a tangent. I want you to stick to the question because we're moving progressively with the discussion. So, my question to you is, let's talk about the long-term benefits of removing the subsidies. And do you think having short-term price increments and if inevitably the prices of other things are going to increase, do you think it's worth it for the benefits that Zambia is going to endure in the future?
Let me put it this way, Mr. Muna. First of all, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Let me put it this way. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'll put it this way. We are in this mess because of the previous regime. There is no way they can say, no, they don't want to be talked about them. No, we are in this mess because of the PF. I'll give an example. There were certain people who joined the parliament, they never had shoes. I'm sure, Mr. Mpombo, you can bear me with that. We had those people who just joined the parliament, they never have the shoes. But where are they now? They have got a lot of mansion. That's where the money went.
And not even that.
So
Let's just take a look at President Edgar Lungu's dressing before he became the president. We saw the way he was dressing when he was still in Chawama. Absolutely crazy. We saw the way he was. We saw his attire,
Indeed,
and we saw the switch up just from President Edgar Lungu. His attire, terrible. I mean, but anyway, but it is what it is.
Mr. Muna. That's where I'm going. Yeah, that's where I'm going to.
Yeah, go on.
That's where I'm going to. So they never had vision. They never had vision. All they wanted to do was to scrap all whatever Zambian had. That's where the problem is coming from. So we are in this mess. Yes, even if the price has been hiked, it's just maybe a little while. I'm telling you where we are heading to is a bright future. Yes, we'll complain for a bit of time, but we'll be somewhere. We are going somewhere. We are going higher. We have a bright future. They will complain, yes, they will complain, but still more. One day we enjoy. It's not that now there is nothing we can do because the budget which we have at the moment now, we are still in the PF's budget. There is nothing we can do. So this criminality which was there in that previous regime, we are trying to do what to reclaim it, to make it at least now understandable. So let's just wait and see. I think where we are going, Mr. Mona, we have got a bright future.
Definitely. So anyway, let me just be petty for 1 second. Today I feel like being petty. Everybody for if you had Galungu before Tabarainga Mudiwa presidents. Now, if you see the difference, that was that happened Nishmaishingira, or rather the body exposed Kumakofas Yaku Zambia. Absolutely different, total transformation. Anyway, I've stopped being petty, but you get my point, right? You get my point, Stefio. So, if you are HTK, if you want to Vandi Zambia, total transformation.
Mr. Muna.
Yes, I'm being petty.
Mr. Muna, maybe Mr. Muna.
Right. Go on.
Mr. Muna. Maybe you can bring that picture when they went for memorial. Can you bring that picture for Eddie Kalungu?
The recent one.
You try to compare.
The recent one or the previous one?
Power.
Oh well, but he still has got the money. I'm talking about when he was like when he didn't have the machinery. Because you know these things are very important. Even Bowman Lusambo, we all know we all know where he's coming from in the MMD era. And then he's talking about mindset when he only became rich after he had access to these perks of you know, being one of the most influential figures. When he wasn't in power, he couldn't even set up and start a good business. And then he's talking about the mindset of Zambians after he's been using his position to have advantage over people, the majority of Zambians who do not even have the privilege of competing in a very good environment business-wise. And he's here after he's, you know, brushed shoulders with the most worthy people to have an advantage over the regular Zambian. He doesn't have the audacity to talk about that because when he wasn't in power, he was wallowing in poverty. And this is a fact. You know, this is factual. We're talking about facts. He only became ultra wealthy when he had the privilege of being, you know, being able to maneuver in these government institutions. What is he talking about? So he shouldn't demean the entrepreneurial spirit of hardworking Zambians who are trying to strive and make it in this tough environment that they have created. They created a very bad environment for the average entrepreneur in Zambia to make it without any external influential forces coming through from the powers that be. So you know, he can't even have the slightest audacity to talk about the mindset of the Zambians when we saw his transformation after he got privileged. You know, sorry, I got passionate. But anyway, moving on, Brother Tiki, what's your contribution?
Good evening, Brother Muna, and good evening, Uncle Oscar, Brother.
Good evening.
Good evening. Go on, Brother Tiki.
Zambia and the rest of the world. Yeah. For me, I have a message for the youth. Okay, I have a message for the youth, and I know times are hard right now. Times are hard, and I'm here to remind the youth that we are in this mess because of decisions that were made by the Patriotic Front government. Okay, I've seen a lot of people on social media saying, "No, don't talk about the PF now. You're the ones in power. Can you fix this, fix that?" But I think we need to appreciate the fact that we are in this mess because of the current, the previous regime. Okay, so that the measures that the current government is taking now is for the benefit of fixing our current situation, so that our future is secured. Okay, because if we look at the IMF deal, I've seen a lot of PF sympathizers that attacked, saying, "Why go to the IMF? Why go to the IMF?" But the Patriotic Front, they had billboards about the IMF deal. Okay, Edgar Lungu had a billboard talking about the IMF deal, and
Brother Tiki, I think we're losing you. The internet is your internet is not really that favorable tonight.
Our lenders can only negotiate with us. Can you get me?
Okay, now you're back. Yes, you can go on.
All right. So the IMF deal at the end of the day was pursued also by the Patriotic Front government. They just didn't clinch the deal. Okay, and at the end of the day, we still need this deal as a cushion. And therefore, government is only doing this to secure our future. And I think we need to work with government, because in as much as we are seeing doors closing in terms of subsidies, there are other doors that are opening up in terms of CDF being increased. Okay, what are we doing as citizens in making sure that we benefit from the CDF that's coming to our communities. The Minister of Finance the other day was talking about contracts and projects being awarded to the youth and to the local people in a particular constituency, so that the labor also is from the particular constituency. And I think those are opportunities for us. Okay, those are opportunities for young people, for the women, for the unemployed. But then opportunities like this require you to have a particular paperwork done. Okay, and a lot of young people are complaining about unemployment and whatnot, but then there are opportunities that are coming through with the increased CDF. But what are we doing to prepare ourselves? That is a challenge I want to give to young people. Okay, what are we doing in preparing ourselves? Are we registering cooperatives? Okay, there are a lot of agricultural opportunities, a lot of supermarkets in need of products, whether it's tomatoes, whether it's vegetables, and the demand is high. Okay, the demand is high, but the supply is really low. And what are we doing as young people to explore some of these ventures, explore some of these opportunities? What are we doing in preparing ourselves so that we are not found in a situation where we are completely at our low? But if we can have these opportunities presented to us and we grab them by their horns, at least we'll have some cushion from the subsidies that have been removed, so that at the end of the day, we may not really feel the impact. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, Brother Tiki. So we pass it over to Brother Siambuli. Now, let's talk about the good things that have been introduced. And do you think it's justifiable? For example, let's talk about the free education and the 12% salary increment for most civil servants, if I'm not mistaken. So if you look at the things that the Zambian people are going to be benefiting from, do you think it's justifiable having a slight increment in the price of fuel? Brother Siambuli. Unmute yourself.
Yeah, myself, especially in terms of the fuel, I think that one I won't feel any impact at all because I'm using a bike. Mr. Muna. Yeah, I want to hear that impact. Yeah,
but how about the majority of Zambians? How about the majority of Zambians? Let's talk about the majority of Zambians. Do you feel, with regards to all the good things that the UPND are about to do, free education, salary increment, employment, do you think having price increments in the fuel, do you think it's something that can sort of, people can understand, saying, okay, they're doing so much good, so this particular price increment, it's okay, it's bearable?
Yeah, this fuel hiking fuel, it won't be long overdue. I'll talk about, let me put it in this way. I'll talk about the Israel, how they moved from Egypt going to Canaan. They had some challenges for them to reach to Canaan. We need to understand that. But we are looking at where they were going, where they were being promised to do it, to go and stay. That's where we are at the moment. Yes, quite okay. The life will be hard somehow, but where we are going will be fine. Because I'm looking at the CDF itself. When we compare to the previous government, it was about 1.6 somewhere there. Then for this coming budget, how much do we have? Almost 26. Because when we round off 25.7, when you round off the figure, it's already 26 million. We have seen. So we are in the right track. There's people complaining now because you are trying to mend those loopholes where the previous government left. But I'm telling you, 2 years from now, we are in the right track. Thank you very much, Mr. Muna.
All right. Thanks, Brother Siambuli. So, Brother Tiki, then we'll pass it over to Brother Oscar. So do you think the increment in the price of fuel, do you think it's justifiable? And if you look at the other good things that are being done, why are people overlooking all the many things that are being done? Free education, 12% salary increment, plus some other good stuff, employment of teachers and nurses. Do you think it's Zambians will sort of bear and, you know, get to understand that the price of fuel increment is inevitable, and it is one of those prudent things that we need to do in order for us to solve a lot of you know, bad things that have been going on.
Yeah, I think we need to come to a point where we're looking at the benefit of the greater good. Okay, so that when we look at increase in fuel prices, definitely consumers will also be affected, because even groceries will the prices will change. Okay, the prices will change, and that's one thing I've always had with people that sell, because they always want to take advantage of the situation, even before we actually get to those levels. We have to endure. Okay, we have to endure, and we also have to consider the other side of the coin. Earlier I talked about doors. Okay, the door to subsidies has been closed for now. Okay, but
Right.
what doors has government opened in order to help us as citizens? From the subsidies that have been removed, government mentioned part of that money will be used to pay retirees. That is something we've complained and championed as citizens, because we have seen how retirees die without getting the benefits, how their families suffer without getting the beloved ones' benefits. But government is dedicated to paying the retirees from the money that has been that will be served from the subsidies. Okay, and that's a plus, because at the end of the day, we are seeing families being attended to. You can imagine you have a breadwinner who worked their entire life and has this money that they can't access, and they die, their family can't access, simply because somebody doesn't want to prioritize that, but continue paying this money on subsidies. At the end of the day, money which wasn't even being paid to those who were providing or supplying government with the same fuels, increasing our debt at the end of the day. So for the greater good, we have families that will be paid and attended to. That is families of retirees, okay, which is a plus. And that means more opportunities, because those people, when they're empowered with their money that is due to them, at least they'll start businesses, okay? They'll build properties. From the businesses, they'll be able to employ other Zambians. From the businesses, they may be able to give loans to other Zambians, okay? And the chain goes. We also have part of that money going to complement the increase in the CDF money allocations. And from the CDF, we have opportunities, one, as youth, as women, and as communities. The government, again, keeps insisting that contracts will be awarded to Zambians and the locals in a particular constituency. Okay, so imagine 25 million kwacha worth of projects in a constituency. Some constituencies already have roads done, and those are projects that may cost more. Okay, so smaller projects may be drainages, school infrastructure in different schools, but at the end of the day, I don't think the 25 million can be exhausted in just infrastructure development. Part of it, government said, will be used to give bursaries to the vulnerable in the communities. We know families that are vulnerable in our communities, okay? And part of that money is going to help finance school for those vulnerable children in our communities. And that's a plus, okay? So we shouldn't just look at ourselves and our personal benefit as an individual, but let us look out for those who may be doing worse than us. Okay,
Correct.
As Zambians, we need to encourage a culture of helping one another, of working together, because that is one thing that has been lacking for years and years and years. We need to learn from the Patels. Okay, we need to learn from the foreigners that come to our country and group together and work towards a common goal. That's one thing we need to do. Okay, we have people that are vulnerable in our societies, in our communities, and such people will only benefit from CDF. We have people that have never been to school, they have no qualification, no paper. What have they known? Whether it's fishing, if they're in Mbulungu, okay, whether it's farming, let these people be encouraged and let us put our heads together so that we form cooperatives, we register companies, and prepare ourselves to offer a service to government in return for these contracts that will empower each one of us in our communities. It may not be everybody, but it's a start. Okay, it may not be everybody, but it's a start. If 25 million kwacha or part of it is used to empower a particular number of people in a constituency for 1 year, imagine the CDF for the following year. How many people can it cover? For the following year, how many people can it cover? At the end of the day, if we are all open-minded and we invest and start businesses and work for ourselves, we'll have a more stable economy, because the number of us will be able to work on our own and contribute to the paying of tax, contribute to the job creation. Okay, so let's give government also the time to keep providing these opportunities for us, because at the end of the day, the UPND government didn't come into office to squeeze the citizens. They didn't come into office to revenge the citizens. They came here to serve, and let us give them the time to do so, and let us follow what they are saying. Let us listen to news so that we are not left seated when opportunities are being presented. I think that is one thing I keep getting from a number of ministers when they speak. Minister of Youth, Minister of Finance. I keep hearing them speak the same language, that the private sector is almost priority. Okay, the private sector is where each one of us will have opportunities. The jobs that government, they are very limited, but in the private sector. Therefore, Zambians, I think we need to change our mindset. So let us listen to the language being used by government so that we prepare ourselves, so that we are an economy that has people willing to sacrifice time to invest and to work, and not just think about the weekend, my youth. Not just to think about the weekend and have fun and party, no. Let us work.
Yes, Brother Tiki.
Let us work.
And this is something that I'm very passionate about, because, it doesn't serve any purpose if we're not equipped and prepared. You see, the CDF is going to be available. The environment is going to be conducive for innovators to do what they do, to innovate. So we also need to teach our people and let them know, look, this is how you make the most out of this particular environment that the government is creating. So we also need to be equally vocal with regards to providing, our people with the necessary tools to take advantage of this particular government, because it's very rare that we get to have an opportunity to be led by such profound people. So we should also have door-to-door campaigns. We should be vocal on social media, letting the people know what type of actions they are supposed to be implementing in order for them to have the maximum benefit of whatever the new dawn is doing. So we should have like a dedicated day where we just talk about, entrepreneurship, innovation, and just basically how to get ourselves out of the slum, because that is definitely going to help our people make the most and really get to, help ourselves. So we need to set up a day where we just talk about everything, the setting up cooperatives, what needs to be done, and how to basically be prepared. But thanks, Brother Tiki. So, gentlemen, we've finally reached the conclusion of our discussion today. So what I'm going to ask of you is to give me your conclusive remarks. whatever you feel like talking about is free, free for all. Just talk about anything that you feel like talking about. Give us your conclusion in 2 minutes, and then we call it a day. So to all the viewers that have been with us up to this particular moment, we just want to appreciate you. To be honest, without you, we are absolutely nothing. And everybody is a VIP on Z Corner. And sometimes we do get passionate because we really take these issues very, very personal. When national development is wherever national development is concerned, these are issues that we take dearly, and sometimes we do get passionate. But I really appreciate you for supporting us, and let me ask you to share the video one more time, so that we can have at least 700 shares. We need to have at least 1,000 likes. So if you're just walking in and you're just joining us and you haven't shared the video, kindly do so, because we need to have at least 700 shares before the end of this live stream. And also like the video, like the live stream, because we need to have about 1,000 likes by the end of the live stream. So kindly continue sharing. I know we are streaming on multiple platforms. We're streaming on YouTube. So big shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube. We're also streaming on Facebook 1 and Facebook 2. So Z Corner is diversifying. We are streaming on 3 platforms. Can you imagine? That's the amount of dedication we have put into this particular project, so that, in case our page is closed, we have backups, if you know what I'm talking about. So big shout out to everybody on YouTube, on Facebook, Z Corner, the main page, and the second page on Z Corner TV. So thank you everybody. Remember, keep on tagging people, let the people know, because we've got positive intentions and we are genuine patriotic Zambians who want the majority of Zambians to do very well. So gentlemen, give us your conclusive remarks. So let me give this opportunity to Brother Moses. You're just walking through. Welcome to the show, Brother Moses. Give us your conclusion. 2 minutes. The floor is yours.
Thank you for this privilege. Greetings to the viewers, greetings to all Zambians and my fellow panelists. I thank you for giving me this rare opportunity. May I talk on the increase of petrol, is it fuel? This has an impact to the country, because not everyone or uses maybe transport, public transport. Some they live in villages, some we live in towns, and we do use. So I'm saying this in conjunction with the increment of 12% to the salaries. For those people, they are going to benefit, but not every Zambian is going to benefit on that increment. So it has an impact for this country. I think the government need to shed more light on that, to try and work extra hard to reduce on that price, so that every Zambia will benefit on that area.
So I'm not really getting you right. Are you against the fuel spike?
Yeah, what I'm saying is increment of the fuel, I don't support it. The reason behind that is, if they are going to increase it, then it will affect most of the things, like commodities will go high.
Yes, but do you understand why the price of fuel is being increased?
Yes, I do. Maybe is it because they have removed the subsidy from the fuel?
Do you know why subsidies were removed?
Yes, I know.
Okay, and you still have a problem with
now my concern is based on the increase. You see, wherever there is an increase on the fuel, the impact is both to the commodities. You see, meal, really, let me say everything, even transport is increased.
Yes, I agree. But so to you, what would be the solution of number one? You remove the subsidies, you employ people, you increase the CDF. How else would you still maintain the price of fuel if it were you?
It's not me to maintain, but where we do buy fuel, what is the actual price? Do they order it, or where this fuel is coming from? So the solution there is to find out how much do they sell? How much have they been selling when we add the subsidy or when we remove this subsidy? We need to understand, and we need maybe the Minister of Energy to come on this platform or any platform, maybe TV, whatever, explain to us so that we understand. My concern is based on the commodity for the people. Yes.
Mr. Moses.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Moses, allow me just to intervene on that. Mr. Moses, I think the key is what Mr. Mona is trying to say is this. It was wrong to increase the prices of electricity and the prices of fuel. But what this government have found, what has happened is, they have found that they hid to the nation that there were subsidies. So it is inevitable. It's not a question of helping the country or not. It is inevitable because, one, the country is defaulted. Two, millions and millions of debts. Three, hidden subsidies, which we need to get rid of. And so I think that's why it's quite inevitable. Yeah, that's the point.
On that point, I caught you right. Now, may I pose a question? If this fuel is being increased, is it helping us for the money which us, this country, defaulted from IMF?
It is the subsidies might be one of the conditions the IMF has given to the country. It might be. I cannot confirm. It might be one of the conditions because, and that might be one of the conditions that the PF could not sustain. Hence, they did not get the help from IMF. If Mr. Moses, I am lending you something. If I'm in business, I give you some of the conditions so that you can pay back my money. You need to abide by my conditions, not you have borrowed the money to give me the conditions. Why should you give me your conditions?
I get you right on that point. I understand.
I think to answer your question, Brother Moses, is we're not going to default. We're going to manage to pay our loans.
Yeah,
we're going to manage to pay our loans. This is one of the reasons why we're also seeing other things like the increment in CDF, more teachers being employed. We're going to pay the loans, and we're not going to default any longer, if that was your question.
Yeah. Now, maybe you have just tried, like you have answered, but the question is, on this increase of fuel, is there a source of earning some money to repay the IMF fund or not? I pose it like that, then you answer me.
It is also a way of paying something to the IMF in a sense that instead of getting some the money from somewhere to subsidize fuel and the like, indirectly, Mr. Anton, what I was saying, indirectly, we are now using the money we are getting from the getting rid of the subsidies by allowing and pay the youth who are going to have free education. You get the point? If we go with subsidies, I think the disaster they have found, they cannot do with that free education. If they would go with subsidies, the government was going to look at the budget, not 25 million, but probably they would have come down to say, okay, let's just make it 8 million. Now,
I don't really understand the exact question by Brother Moses. What's your question again? Repeat the question. What's your question?
The question is, on the increase of this fuel, is there a resource fund which is going to come from this increment so that we are going to use it to pay for the IMF. I'm not against the removal of subsidies, but specifically since we have removed and the increment has been announced already, fuel maybe will be selling at from 17 point something to somewhere there per liter, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so your main concern is if the price of fuel is increased, is this money going to cater for the amount which is going to be due to pay back the IMF loan? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sure they should be. And these are obviously one of the conditions that the IMF gave so that they can have the guarantee to get paid back that particular money.
Yeah. Yeah. On that point, that's why I'm requesting maybe Minister of Finance to come maybe on television, Minister of Energy, to explain more. We need to get a clear information as Zambians. We need to understand. We cannot be speculating, no. So on that one, it's good.
Okay.
Then coming to the issue of 2025.7, that is CDF. That one, I have no problem with it. It's quite good, and I know and understand it will improve the living standard of every Zambian in every constituency. And on that 25.7, there is a 10 million. If we subtract, we will remain with 15.7. 10 million is basically for the those people, most privileged people who need support for education. That's how it is. I understand for that one. I have no complaint with or anything against that. That's a good move. I hope coming to maybe is it 2023, maybe the budget will even go higher than the way it is, especially for that 10 million. Maybe the addition of maybe 10 or 5 can be there so that at least, on my own opinion, we might be like Chinese. The government should also look on letting Zambian get educated in many ministry or other thing, so that this Zambian might go abroad and start working there. If possible, the government should also have some funds where they can give like a loan. Somebody can go and study. After studying, that person start working. Then the government to start now getting that little paying that person. Maybe.
But that happens.
You are a graduate.
Plenty
Yes.
of Zambians are given scholarships outside of Zambia, and even at the University of Zambia, Copper Belt. That already happens. What are you? But explain more. Maybe I don't know where you're going with it. That already happens, unless I don't.
Yes, it happens, but we need some engineers, because we cannot be just maybe having University of Engineering, but without implementing something here, which we can see that already we have the engineers in Zambia, but everything we are maybe hiring from other country, foreign country, coming here to do the job which our own Zambian maybe can do that. We need to come up with.
Okay, I get what you're saying. So basically what you're saying is we need to prioritize Zambian professionals, and allow Zambians to take up these jobs. Yeah, so that obviously falls in the economic reforms and economic policies, and we need to lobby for these things. So you've got a valid point. We just need to make sure that our government sort of makes policies that really are for Zambians, pro-Zambian policies, so that our engineers can be able to, take up the contracts, do the jobs, etc. So I hope I'm getting you right, Brother Moses?
Yeah, that's my point. Then the other thing is what my brother Tiki here said. We need to be at least love with one another. If we love one another, I know that everything is going to be okay. Because even this 10 million, which has come in constituencies, you may find that maybe those people who are in front there are the same, taking one another, maybe family, whatever, come and be here, do a course, whatever. But we have some other people who have no any base to start from. So through love, even the Bible emphasizes on love. Because when you love somebody, you do make sure things which is good. We need to have that heart to go to that family, find one so that he can also at least have a touch on this thing. I think I rest my case there.
Thanks, Brother Moses. We love you. On behalf of Z Conan, the Z Conan viewers, we really love you, and we'll continue loving you, and we'll love one another. Thank you for your profound suggestions. So, who's up next?
Thank you.
Let me go, and then I'll be off the line.
All right. Go on, Brother Oscar.
My conclusion is Mr. Anthony Wale's explanation was good. On that, I think it was not very complete. When Anthony said, the poor people are not going to be affected, it is not true. The increment of fuel does not only affect who possesses a vehicle, well, maybe much more, but you know that prices in bus transport will rise. Then also the price of tomato is going to rise. Everything has an effect. When you increase fuel, you have increased the standard or the status of life of all the citizens, including our less privileged people and those who are differently abled people. Imagine in the Copper Belt, those people, the blind people who ask for arms, even for them, the situation is going to be difficult because the people who gives them arms would say, fuel is increased, I don't have enough money. So everyone, all Zambians are going to be affected. I think it's not very bad. We can control, we can help also our Anthony Mwamba friends to also maybe to perfect on that. Everyone is going to be affected. The only thing that the government is supposed to do, let them go and explain. They need to give the right information to the Zambians and to give those who have much more opportunity, maybe in times of these difficulties, to come to aid to those who are less privileged. That would be a very, very fantastic move if at all some of the Zambians can manage. The people are able. You help those who are not able enough. I think it's going to help. And then so that is one. Everyone will be affected. That is the truth. Then, of course, it is inevitable. I support it. I support the motion myself. It is inevitable, and the future, our future, I think is going to be a bright future. The second thing in my conclusion is, I would like also the government, the way Anthony and the government have explained on this issue, they need also to explain to the Zambians what is the real deal behind the mining industry. Gold mines discovered, zinc, aluminium, cobalt, copper, diamonds. I want this government to focus on the extraction. How much is extracted? We need to know how much copper is going to be extracted, how much money is going to be gained from the selling of copper, what percentage goes into the hands of the investors. We need to know. Otherwise, if the government is going to opt to hide this information to the people, I will remain with a question mark. Where is the so-called transparency? This government wants to be transparent. Where is it? And also the deal with the IMF regarding the mines and those tax-free for 5 years, I don't know. Well. Myself, I thought that argument would have been also maybe a question to discuss in Parliament before it was signed. I thought it might have been a very good idea, but I know there are some other difficulties and issues and problems which are beyond my understanding. But insofar as the mining issue is concerned, I am not interested in 25 million CDF. It's nothing. 25 million times 10 provinces of CDF, it's nothing as compared to almost 15 billion United States dollars, which can be received from the mining industry. That is those are mathematics, Mr. Mona. Mining industry can make 10 times the government budget for CDF. The mining industry. So I am appealing, and I conclude. I appeal to our government. Look in that terms, please. Let us not give the foreigners these our resources freely. We know we have an emergency. If you leave it like this to pay our debt, probably I would even accept that. But please, sooner or later, the question of mining and the resources and the amount coming from the mines, let us look seriously into that, and let us, that industry, be also transparent, and we have good accountability. Thank you.
Definitely, brother Oscar. But before you go, I do agree with all the points that you've brought about, and the suggestion that brother Tiki also talked about. So let's do this. Perhaps once in a week, one day, we can talk about the things that we want the government to do, and we also talk about the areas that we feel they need to really touch on, because by the end of it all, we're not here to bootlick. We're not here to give praises anyhow. We're here to make sure that Zambia benefits. So all these points, gentlemen, that you are bringing and talking about, right? We need to highlight them and let the government know that this is what the Zambians want, and these are the types of areas that we need to concentrate on. So I don't know. We'll talk and probably come up with a specific day where we talk about the things that they really need to work on. So we need to have a specific day so that they can understand from our point of view, and also the viewers can also get to add as well. So yeah, thanks a lot, brother Oscar. Profound,
Thank you.
stuff. So
Thank you.
yeah, have a good night. Have a good night, brother Oscar.
Good
Enjoy.
night. Good night, everyone. Good night.
All right, so who's up next? Your conclusive remarks, gentlemen. We're closing at this particular moment, so there's no need to be around. We're about to conclude, so I'm just allowing everybody to give us their conclusive remarks. So who's next? Brother TK, I see you're ready. You can go on.
Yeah, I think I'll still give a challenge to my fellow Zambians. There is the UPND manifesto. Okay, and that is something they preached throughout the campaign. Okay, let's take time to read, because their manifesto is a pro Zambian manifesto. Okay, so let us read and understand their message to the Zambian people, so that we use that. Okay, we use that to question government on the policies they need to introduce to achieve that pro-Zambian agenda. Okay, the empowerments we're talking about, the mining opportunities, mining licenses, timber licenses, and all these government projects that need to be undertaken, that need to be spearheaded by Zambians. Contracts being given to Zambian companies in collaboration with foreign companies. Those that want to invest in a particular field must partner with the local companies. I think that was the message the UPND had in opposition. Okay, so let us remind them, so that in their delivery to the Zambian people, they do not digress from their plans, they do not digress from their message. And I think we'll be in good books, so that way as well we're able to offer the appropriate checks and balances, because we understand their message to us, and we understand our situation as a nation, so that we are on the right path in making sure that we do not miss opportunities, and making sure that government provides us with the necessary opportunities, and also the relevant environment for us to start our businesses and operate as business entities. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where you end. All right. Okay, so have a good night, brother Tiki. You need to send me your contacts via WhatsApp, so we can stay in. Sorry, via Facebook. So just DM me on Facebook, then I'll grab your contact so that we can be talking about these things in advance, because we need those specific days where we talk about specific topics, and people understand people need to prepare. So yeah, let me know. Talk to me via Facebook inbox. Okay, so have a good night. Take care, brother Tiki. So up next is brother Siambuli. Yes, give us your conclusion.
Mr. Muna. Yeah, in my conclusion, I think I'll talk about two things here. Yeah, I'll talk about over the fuel hiking. I think the way we are, the job which we are doing at the platform, on this platform, I think is a well done job. Meaning the government should come in to go in the rural areas. People, they should know why the price of fuel has been hiked. So the people, they need to be equipped. And how long will you be in that mess? I think people should know. PF lost power because they were so ignorant. They never wanted to do it, to listen to the people. That's where the problem it was. So I'm sure in this government we can't be like those last regime. So people should be taught. They should know where we are and how long we will be in this mess. I think it's very important. Then number three again. Yes, we've been in this mess for quite some time, but we need to endure. I sure I understand all of us here where we are. This fuel hiking, it will affect everybody wherever we are. We'll be affected. All what we need, I think, let's come on board. Let's support the government. How do we support? Let's flash out when we have this program. I think let's try to speak out so that someone somewhere there will be able to get one or two things. Then at the end of the day, we are going to do it to push Zambia higher than the way how it is at the moment. Thank you very much, Mr. Muna. Good night.
All right. Have a blessed night, brother Siambuli. Looking forward to having another conversation with you. So yeah, let us know your contact details, and we'll be able to, keep you in the loop with regards to our upcoming discussions. Brother Levi Musende, welcome to the show, brother. You're late, but anyway, give us your conclusive remarks, and we call it a night.
Good evening, brother man. Thank you for the opportunity. I thank whoever have spoken on this follow. I understand this is one of the biggest follow that everyone has got a chance to speak. I know the government has found it very difficult to generate enough money to put in different departments. But in this case, I know they don't have a choice but to increase the fuel price. But I feel they've rushed this thing. They were supposed to take people to go and explain to people outside in all the provinces, to explain to people why they're hiking the price. I think they needed to put up advantage and disadvantage of the reason why they're increasing the fuel price. That was going to help them. People would have understood them better. So, because they've just done this, I think they started talking about the fuel hike maybe a month ago. I feel they should have taken maybe up to a month in December, and then they are going to use this time to explain to everyone on the reason why they are increasing the fuel. Some of us, you and I, will understand the reason why they've increased. But how about a layman who's out there who doesn't understand on why they need to increase the fuel price? So in a nutshell, this is one of the biggest.
Do you understand that if they delay some of these things, even our ability to pay the upcoming loans and resuscitating our economy is also going to drag on and take a longer period of time?
Yes, I do understand. And I feel the very time they won, I think the second month, they were supposed to start telling people about increasing the fuel price. This was going to help after IMF coming on board and helping us with the $1.4 billion. So now, this being one of the largest platforms, I would want where you bring these guys, even these guys are the ministers, where they come and explain some of these things to people. Because I know most of the people who come on this follow, they are learned and they can go and explain some of these things to people outside there. I think this will help the government.
Brother Levy, we have built this particular platform since 2015. We've been leading up to this moment since 2015, working day in, day out, providing content, and we recently started going live recently. So how about we do this? How about you start reaching out to the relevant people yourself as a patriotic Zambian? And then when you contact these people and they are agreeable and they agree to be part of this particular platform, you set up the connection. Why do you feel that we should do everything? We've brought you this platform, you've got the ability to speak, we keep this platform going, and then we basically do everything, and then you just get the maximum benefit. You should also step in and reach out to these people. Do you know how difficult it is to reach out to these people and how busy they are? So while we're setting up everything, setting up the program, we're doing other things. And besides this is not my only job. This is actually one of the things that I do when I'm done with my other hustles. I'm just doing this because I've got a passion for it, and I've got 99 other jobs. So I don't expect me to do everything. So how about you come in and you help the platform grow by giving us your input as well? How about you reach these influential people? Can you do that?
I think we'll try our level best to bring these guys on, but so that they can explain to the masses. And I appreciate you for that.
You should do that. You should do that.
No, we'll be doing that. Thank you so much, Mr. Moon. Otherwise, we love your platform. It's helping a lot. Thank you so much. I think that's my conclusion.
Thank you. So participate, be regular, participate, and give the people what.
Yeah, I do watch all the time. If I'm not contributing, but I do watch this. I love this platform so much. Thank you so much. But now I'm going to be regular contributor.
Yes, every day, 8 p.m. we're here. Be regular, and then we're going to add you to our other group so that what we're going to be discussing. So thanks, Brother Levy. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, viewers, and everybody. This is it for today. This is it for tonight. And I'm so happy that you are helping us. And just like I told you, right, Z Corner has been around since 2015. We've been putting in the work. I keep on telling this story. We started Z Corner, or rather, I started Z Corner when I was in my third year of university. After that, a lot of things have happened, and we've been doing this for free, even up to today. We sustain ourselves by doing other things. I've got other jobs that I'm doing on the side. So it's not like whenever you see me online, I just do this. I've got other serious things that I'm doing, and I just dedicate the evening to Z Corner, because if you think about it, right, some other people are watching movies. A regular movie takes about 1 hour 30 minutes, about 90 seconds. Our live stream takes about 2 hours to 3 hours. So the time that other people use to listen to music, to watch ZNBC, to watch movies, we are using it to create content, to add value. So sometimes it's a little bit disrespectful when you see some people on social media and you just think, they're just social media people. Actually, we're doing a lot of other powerful stuff in the background, and we're just doing this because we are patriotic Zambians and we understand the type of role that we need to play in order for us to propel the nation to another level, because we need to have these discussions. We need to make sure that the government knows that the people of Zambia are enlightened. You see, one of the reasons why the Patriotic Front took advantage of the Zambian people is they thought everything was good. They thought everything was amazing because people weren't able to talk. They didn't really understand the anger that the Zambian people had. And this is one of the reasons why they were saying, I don't really see any wind of change. This is one of the reasons why President Edgar Lungu was on the podium saying, the indicators are showing that we are winning. It's because the Zambian people weren't talking. The Zambian people weren't able to freely communicate and articulate on issues like the way we are doing. And this is very important because our conversations are able to change the mindset of the incoming generation. It takes a while in order for disruption to occur. And this is one of the reasons why these progressive discussions are going to be helping align the young people. The young people's way of thinking is going to be changed. They're going to be pro-Zambian. They're going to be thinking about economic policies that are going to help the Zambia, reform to the type of level that they want. So these discussions are going a long way. The effects are going to be seen in the next 20, 50 years when the young people who are watching us are, in capable positions that can really inflict change, because it starts with the mindset, changing the mindset and changing the way that we look at things from a long-term perspective. So this is one of the reasons why we are sacrificing our precious time. We could have been doing other things. I could have been watching, I don't know, some tutorial, learning some new other things, but I understand the greater good, the majority of people, the sacrifice that needs to be put in order for us to be able to compete as a nation. If everybody in Zambia is synchronized with regards to, the goals that we have, if everybody is on their A game, if everybody knows how to take advantage of the entrepreneurial environment, which is going to be created by, the UPND government, right? Then we're going to have more entrepreneurs, more businesses, more factories, and basically everybody's livelihood is going to sort of improve. So it all starts with dialogue, discussion. It all starts with a mentality shift. And how do we bring about this mentality shift? By highlighting certain things and making sure that the narrative kind of shifts and drifts towards a particular motion, and everybody moves in synchronization. That is how change is brought about. So it all starts with discussions. Discussions turn into songs. Songs turn into our mentality, our culture. That is how you improve and change and basically, have a better outcome. It all starts with dialogues, discussions. So enough said. I do not really want to talk more than we have already, because we've already done too much. So I really want to appreciate you. I want to appreciate everybody that tunes in. I see the same faces that are always supporting us. I can, yourselves, you are always here on Z Corner. You always support us by liking and sharing. Yourselves. I do not need to individually call out your names, because a lot of you are so dedicated, and I really, really appreciate you. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And as long as the Lord is able to keep me alive, I will continue this particular platform, and everybody is going to be able to participate. But the only thing that I'm very disappointed in is the lack of participation of females. We need female representations, and I always let the people know that everybody is welcome. But sometimes not everybody has got the courage to talk in front of people. I understand. So this is one of the reasons why you contribute in several ways. Some people contribute via comments, some people contribute via liking, some people contribute via sharing. So we do appreciate each and every one of you, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And have a good night. Be blessed. Talk to you a little bit later. Bye.